Sup guys, today we are going to be drawing something that anyone can draw. If this is your first time holding an iPad and Apple Pencil, you can draw this too. So what we're going to do is this super cute, kind of mildly Valentine's Day calico cat. We're going to be drawing it step by step. I'm going to be taking you all the way through it and you're going to nail it. I believe in you. If you've never used Procreate before, this is your sign to start. I really hope you can hear me. This is a really not the best mic ever. Yeah, my goal here is to really just help you unlock your creativity through art that is very simple but also sparks joy, because that's what art is for, right? I really feel like creativity is a part of us that we're supposed to nurture, just like we nurture our overall well-being. I'm a full-time artist, but I'm always looking for ways to stay creative too. And actually Skillshare, who are the sponsor of today's video, have made that easier than it's ever been, ever. Like, I got my hands on this new camera this month and I have no idea how to use it, even though I know it'll help me up-level my content creation game just exponentially. But to me, learning something new always feels scary. This is where finding good guidance completely changes the game and takes away the pressure of embarking on a new journey completely by yourself. And Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you completely level up your career or skills or hobbies or passions or side hustles, like they're helping me with my filming. It can help you with anything: illustration, animation, design, like I already said. And I mean, you're pretty lucky today because the first 500 people that use my link in the description below will get 1 month of free Skillshare. What are you waiting for? So make sure you've claimed that. Look for all the classes you've ever wanted to take, go crazy, get your spark back, and let's get on with drawing our calico cat. I hope you don't mind if we jump right into it. I want you to open Procreate and go ahead and press on the plus in the top right corner. And I'm just gonna go with a nice and square drawing because I feel like it's universal, it's Instagrammable. I am going to be using the brushes that I made by myself. I will link them in the description, as well as these super cool tracing brushes that I've also made for you to practice your line work on. As you can see, they're like sketches that you just get to line and then color by yourself, and it's a really great way to practice hand stability. But if you don't have my brush sets, the best brushes I recommend to use are this 6B pencil from sketching and this monoline pen from calligraphy for coloring. Those are my brushes of choice from Procreate's basic brushes, but I will be, like I said, using my own brushes, which are similar, but I feel like they're squishier, you know. I made them a little bit my own. So start with your sketching brush. I called mine the squishy pencil, and I like to sketch with a fun color like a pink. You can go for blue, purple, whatever, just not with gray. I feel like that takes so much fun out of the process. So what we're gonna do is, like always, and like I do in my book, which is now available for pre-order, it has like a bunch of cat tutorials inside of it. I always start with the head. I always start with an oval for the head and then draw the guidelines for the face. You're gonna draw an oval and then hold your pencil, and then that will let you press on edit, and then you can edit your oval and shape it whichever way you like. I'm gonna go for a bit of a sideways tilted one. When your oval looks something like mine is where you're gonna tap out of the editing tool. For that, you're just gonna press on the brush, and that's it. For the face guidelines, I'm gonna draw like a line on the bottom, kind of in the bottom half of the oval, not exactly in the middle, and a little sideways cross as well. That's just a little sideways line as well. That's just gonna help us draw the face later on. I do undo a lot when I draw, and that is completely normal. So if you're kind of insecure about how many times you undo, don't be. I probably undo more than you. So we're gonna add 2 triangles for the ears, just soft and squishy, don't overthink it. And then for the face, I'm actually gonna go a bit of a fluffier one. So I add these 2 little like tufts on the side of the ears, and then I'm gonna add a bit of a puffier cheek like than I usually do. I just feel like this cat would look good with a rounder face. I'm pretty happy with my face, so what I'm gonna do now is start the chest and front paws. That I'm gonna start here, and just where that left cheek kind of is gonna meet the chest. And I'm gonna draw a curve like this downwards. Then from the right cheek, from the other cheek, draw a short line like this. That is gonna connect the neck to the back half. Now what the back half is gonna be, it's gonna be like a bit of an egg. A bit of a flat bottomed egg. But when we're gonna be lining, we're not going to line this part. So when we're gonna be lining, we're gonna be lining here and here. So this part in between, you can go ahead and erase, because if we connect the back there, it's just kind of look like we just cut the back off the cat. That's not what we want. We kind of want to leave that line to the imagination. I'm really losing my voice. I apologize for today, but all we have really left to add from the body is our tail. So from the this would be the middle of the back, following the spine, kind of towards the right side. Draw a little guideline here and 2 kind of notches for the tail like that. And then just add a curved little tail. That's just a curious looking kitty cat. Now all we have to do is draw the face. So where the lines cross, we're gonna draw my little V-shaped nose or mouth. It's a long story. I'm actually gonna flip my canvas. So for that, long press with 1 finger on the screen, flip horizontally, and that's kind of gonna let you refresh your eyeballs a little bit. My eyes were getting a bit blurred, like my vision was getting a bit blurred because my brain was so used to looking at my drawing that I couldn't really tell what's good and what's not so good. I'm pretty happy with that. I will probably edit that a little bit in the lining stage. You're gonna go ahead into your layers. We are ready to add our to draw our line work. So you're gonna press on layers, you're gonna press on the N that's on layer 1, and you're just gonna slide the opacity down so you can still see the sketch, but it's not in the way of you lining. We're gonna add a new, this is important, add a new layer on top of your old layer. Get any lining pen you want, but it's better to use the ones that I recommended. I'm gonna get a black, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna go over what we just drew. Again, keep your hand light, draw it with your whole forearm. A bit light, keep it simple, take your time. I'm gonna speed this up because I really don't want to put you through my whole lining process. Again, I undo a lot. So I'm gonna speed this up and I'm gonna get right back to you. You should have something similar to me by this point. If not, that's totally okay. You can always go back, replay, pause. Don't try to catch up with me. I edit this video, I speed it up, I do ungodly things. So we're gonna go ahead and hide the layer that is our sketch layer because we don't actually need that anymore. Whoa. Okay. Go back into layers and just untick the sketch layer, and that will have it hidden from us. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to color in this cat. We are gonna color the base white. How we're gonna do that is we're gonna hide the background, add a new layer, follow my lead, drag the new layer under your line art layer. This way when you color, you won't actually be interfering with the lines. We're gonna set the line art layer to reference. Follow my lead, it's okay, it's not hard. Go back to our new layer that we just created, and that is going to allow us to fill in the whole cat while maintaining separate layers without having to color it manually. After this point, you can go ahead and add back your background color. It's just so your cat isn't like empty, that if you do want to change your background color, you can change it to whatever you want and you will not interfere with the cat's colors. Now we're going to add a new layer on top of the white fill layer that we just did, and we're going to clip it. We're going to press clipping mask. What clipping mask is doing is that when we now choose to color, the colors stay within, like my pencil is going everywhere, the colors stay within the outline, and we want that. And you can go ahead and remove the reference mode from the layer of the line art. Gonna do that. And now we're ready to add the markings. The marking that I'm most excited to add for this one is the little heart butt. I just made that up in my head, but I'm just gonna add like a little, we don't want it to be like a superficial heart because I want this to be a low-key Valentine's Day cat. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna make it like, whoa, make sure you're drawing on your clipping mask layer, and I'm just gonna make it like a heart that's obvious that it's a heart, but it could still, it's like not as like it could still be a natural part of the cat's fur color, you know? And then I'm gonna bring that orange all the way into the tail. Just gonna trace the outline of the tail from the inside, and that will allow me to fill that whole tail orange. And then I'm just gonna add some, like, just to keep it looking natural, just add some splotches of other colors of fur. This is a calico cat, so let's just go ahead and add a bit more colors, a bit more orange here and there. As well as I want half of the face to be orange and the other half to be gray. Now we're gonna add another layer, probably under that orange clipping mask layer, and add a light gray. You can place your colors however you want. I am just here for your inspiration. If you want to do it in different colors, you can. Actually, if you want to make it even more Valentine's colored, you can even make the markings like different shades of pink. And then that is gonna be like a, let me just show you what that would look like. That is a whole other Valentine's Day cat, right? You can go absolutely crazy with the colors and do absolutely whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You know what? That's actually really cute. I will keep to the original cat colors. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a bit more gray. Trying to keep it natural. Don't make them too even, but don't make them like sharp cornered either. I think I'm happy with that amount of splotches. Like I said, I don't want to overdo it. You can absolutely leave your coloring here, and that is already incredibly cute calico cat. I want to spice it up a little bit. I need to cut my hair. I want to spice it up a little bit and add some stripes. To add stripes, I want to be drawing within the layers, the colors that I just drew. So for the orange stripes, I'm going to go into my orange layer, press on it, and press alpha lock. That is going to put the colors on the same layer that they were, but again, they're not going to be able to leave that layer. That just gives you less freedom than clipping mask, because on a clipping mask, you can edit that layer separately, whereas on alpha lock, you are adding colors to that layer, so you won't be able to, you know, if we go to erase, we're erasing everything, and that's kind of the difference. But you can't clip a mask onto a clipping mask, so we have to take what we can get. We are going to go into like more into the red hue and just get a darker orange. And what I like to do is I add an eyebrow. I can do a forehead stripe, but I don't have to. See if it works. And then like an ear line. And then I usually add 2 stripes that are just going to the side from the eye. And that is already a lot more fun than it was with just the orange, right? And then to the rest, you also just want to add some stripes. And in a second, you will understand why this looks so much cooler with these stripes than without, because we're going to also add gray stripes in a way that's going to look organic. I'm going to make the tail stripey too, starting with the tip. Make sure your stripes are going in a kind of bending in the direction of which the tail is bending. So you don't want to be adding straight stripes like this, because that just doesn't look organic at all. You want to add bendy stripes that are kind of curling with the tail, if that makes sense. Evenly spaced, but not really overthinking. It is nature, and not much is perfect in nature. Then coming into the heart, I'm actually going to separate the stripes and make them go more like this. But we have a cool little organic look. Again, just because your art is simplified doesn't mean it has to look stiff. So add some curves, add some bends, spice things up. Then we're going to do something similar on the gray. So we're going to press alpha lock, so we're only drawing within the gray layer. Get our gray and just get a couple of shades darker. Do the same thing we did with the orange, so it's going to be symmetrical. And some boop boop. Here, as you can see, I'm actually just going to be continuing the orange stripe, but in a gray. So that's gonna look like a really nice transition in those stripes. Make it as seamless as you can. And you can always like go back and kind of add more stripes in the gray. You just play around, excuse me, it's all really trial and error, but I really love how that blends. And I am gonna leave it at that. Now, another thing that I'm gonna add, that I always add, is on top of all the other colors, I'm gonna get a white again, and I'm just gonna give her some ear tufts, just like these here. Those are kind of like my signature thing, and I cannot live without them. Right, that is much, much better. Ugh, look at those tufts. Another thing that I'm gonna add as a little finishing touch is a pink nose. So I'm gonna alpha lock the line art layer and color the nose pink, just like that. And here we have a really nice heart butt little cat. I'm gonna add a little heart over here on top, and your Valentine's kit is ready to be gifted to your Valentine. I'm never doing that accent again.